wonderful good day. Thank you for tuning in, and I really appreciate your time. I really, really do, since time has become very, very valuable. Yes. So, whoever doesn't know what I'm doing, this is officially my day 7 of a self-put quarantine. My mother was exposed to a person that got tested positive, and I had contact with my family, so my brother was sick before that already, but he didn't get tested and he was like really, really sick, so the chances are very high that he already had it. And his girlfriend, they were in bed for about 2 to 3 weeks, like really, literally almost dying. And I had contact with him in that time, but apparently I didn't get anything of that. And my mom started to show symptoms, so a few days ago, and like the dry cough and whatever. So I'm assuming that maybe if it will hit me, it will also hit me in the next few days. But before that, I wanted to read a quote. And in case I'm going to butcher it, please excuse me. Here we go. I wish to be free from torture, but if the time comes for me to endure it, I wish to bear it courageously, with bravery and honor. Wouldn't I prefer not to fall into war? But if war does befall me, I wish to carry nobly the wounds, starvation, and other necessities of war. Neither am I so crazy to desire illness, but if I must suffer illness, I wish to do nothing rash or dishonorable. The point is not to wish for these adversities, but for the virtue that makes adversities bearable. So what do we learn from that? We have literally no influence on what will happen to us, but how we face these problems is that what makes us not unique, but will make us us in that moment. I think I kind of messed that up, but I bet you guys know what I mean. So instead of feeding the fear all the time, this constant media, fear, 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 it's like, get rid of it, really. Let it pass. It's gonna get worse. And I will use this word, but it's not worse. I mean, everything that gets worse also has the other side of it. There are options. And that's what I want to talk about today, options. So consider options and thinking outside of the box. I talked about that yesterday on how you can see things in your surrounding that basically have a label attached to it. For example, let's go outside and I would start picking herbs that are just growing. Let's say the nettle. The stinging nettle, I'm starting to pick that up and taking it home. And one of my, let's say, super buff, ultra guy is like, why are you taking these fucking vegetables? Are you a fucking cow? Or, you know, a vegan? Or whatever. And I'm not feeding into these labels either, because what I consider is if you have an option that will provide you with a source of protein, a source of food, a source of nutrition, a source of vitamin, a source of, what's it called again? My mind, minerals, then why not consider that option? And since we know that our enemy is the virus, it attacks, or it doesn't really attack the immune system, but our immune system attacks this virus, so we have to provide the best equipment that we can get for our white blood cells, the special forces of our body. So I'm no expert on it, so I will be butchering the word, what's it called? Leukocytes. I butchered that, I bet, but it's okay. I'm fine with that. So we got to get these guys going to fight off that virus. So, and eventually it could hit very realistically. So do everything you can, pre-hand now, today, proactively. Act preemptively. Get all this shit going. Provide your body with the necessary nutrition to fight off this virus. And no hardware will ever do that, ever. Seriously, you could be walking around having a good time and the virus enters your body, your system, from somewhere, from a wind, I don't know, from somebody that just coughed. You know, we don't know that yet. There's no data yet. And we are hearing about crazier and crazier and crazier cases. So don't feed the fear, and I mentioned that a lot, and I will keep on mentioning it. And instead create options, and that's providing your system with good health, good nutrition. So spices and herbs, I bet every nutrition expert out there will agree with me on this, that a plant-based diet is considered something to increase your immune system. And I will say it is like very reserved because opinions go apart by huge, but a plant-based diet is literally a better choice when it comes to increase your health in the long run. Like, of course, meats also belong to it, lean meats, whatever, you know, we can have a discussion on that. But vitamins, I never heard of fucking pork chops having vitamins, you know. So just consider that option on, if you go out and you see some, let's say like the nettle, the stinging nettle, consider it an option to take, because we got to get our system in full on special forces mode. All right. So don't feed a label, don't feed a label. Don't get caught up in a label. When somebody says like, are you a vegan now? Don't give a fuck. Really, don't care. Just do what you think is right. Get that option, get it. Discard the labels, discard everything that has to do with it. Do what you think is good for you. Also, when you build something, let's say you gear up and you're taking something that doesn't belong just from the optics into the whole setup, but it actually does exactly that, what you need to do, get it done. Do it. Who gives a fuck? You know, you're gonna make it work, you know, study it. That's also something that I want to say. Whatever you study now, and it goes into your brain, into your muscle memory, and you actually will know it, study it all the time, like I do now with the nettle. I'm going to study the nettle for a few days, only this plant, just this one. And then the next week I'll do another plant. And then at the end of 1 year, you will have 54 plants that you know. And that's a lot. That's already a lot. And just by studying it a little bit. So I think that's an option that's considered very good. Of course, hunting is also an excellent source for nutrition and food and whatever, but it involves a huge amount of skills. You literally have to train this a lot. It's not something that you just go out and do. Like, all right, let's try hunting then for once. You know, of course that can work out, but it's not guaranteed. But what's guaranteed? You going out, looking down and finding plants. So that's why I consider that a very good option. And especially in times like these where food chains can be interrupted, you can literally start studying in advance of the month March, May, you know, and continuing. So these months, depending where you are geographically over the planet, you can start studying the plants. And I bet native tribes, hey man, they're like, yeah, business as usual. Because we in the West, we're so reliable, and that's also so ironic, because we're so reliable on this one building, the supermarket. We're so reliable on it. Our lives literally depend on it in a way, you know, because we get all the foods from there. The hunter is like, he's like somewhat off the grid. And this, hey man, like all you off the grid guys, self-sustainable guys that do all this kind of, you know, out back to nature kind of thing. Awesome. Literally awesome. Because right now, you guys, you learned all the skills over years and years and years without actually realizing maybe that you are training a skill that became muscle memory. And we're like, now, what the fuck is going on? Oh no, where am I gonna get my Oreos from? Shit. Oh, food chain has been interrupted. No Oreos for me now. Damn. It shouldn't be some personation. It's very realistic that many people will not know what to do. So whatever you can study today, plants, hunting, whatever it is, being off grid, providing yourself with shelter, it doesn't really matter. And I will try tying this topic also, like the off the grid topic, into the philosophical topic, into the option topic, mindset, attitude, health, diet, make a full-on round circle from top to bottom, gear up, whatever, and always prioritize. Like, hey, right now in the States, everybody's buying ammo like crazy. If you already have like a whole fucking basement full of ammo, you don't need more ammo. You just don't. Literally, if there's a World War III gonna come, then you might as well go and look for some buddies, because I think that's a better choice to do than to be solo, you know, but different story. Me getting a little off context. So getting your options is something that what I would consider something very, very good. So always think out of the box, even if there are weird labels to it, don't care. Have a plan B, have a plan C. I would even go as far as have a plan Z, like the last option. And consider these, you know, and going by the time, like seasons, we all understand seasons. So maybe start planting stuff, but this also involves input of energy. So, and it ties you to a spot. So if you start planting things, you have to also observe it, have to put water over it, have to do whatever with the plants, you know. So it involves a heap amount of energy too. And going out, looking on the floor, planting plants, hey man, you can just wander off. If you have a book or if you have it already up here, you know everything and you're on the go. And hey man, respect to that. But to the gear thing, you know, maybe I will tie that more into the future videos as soon as shit starts to get crazy. And also now, like, what can you do for self-defense at home? Like, I cut down literally a straight tree, a long one, made a point in the front, just in case somebody, because hey man, in Germany it's hard to get guns, you know, it really is. So, and I will not talk about the gun topic because I don't want to have the police here. So, I'll go with legal measures. So things like it's just a stick, you know, it's a walking stick, but it's a long one to keep people on a distance in case things get crazy. So, always consider options. Think ahead, be like a chess kind of person also when it comes to this kind of thing. And yeah, always keep a good spirit and keep faith, you know. Don't fall into this war frenzy, like everybody's my enemy, because it's not. Not everybody's your enemy. And always consider people also being your friend, you know, and helping. And I consider helping is a way better option than actually fighting. Fighting is the absolute last thing you want to do. Because if you get injured in a fight, let me just get this out, this leaf. If you get injured in a fight, and right now our health system is getting a little worked, you will have long waiting hours. Because if a guy needs to get his lungs again, like, wow, filled with, I don't know, machines and tubes and whatever, and you're like, hey, my arm, you know, I got a fucking huge cut. I was defending off this guy that wanted my canned beans, and he jabbed me, and I think it hit an artery, but it's okay. I'm putting pressure. He's like, how long can you put pressure? Can you wait, sir? Because we have 79 other guys that are almost dying from this disease. I know it's very dark, but it's true. And we don't realize it. Eat ginger too. Very, very good. I cut it very thin, like a chip. And you get used to the spiciness. So, yes, we have some dire times, but it's not bad, you know. We have options. The options, if we start focusing on them, they can even become life-changing. So like this YouTube channel, hey man, I never thought I would do something for YouTube. Never. All right, I did consider it once, like back many years ago, when YouTube was still like a kind of a small community. I thought it was funny, but in the meantime, I never thought I would do that again. But look at me, I'm tied to a place, and I'm talking to you guys. And thank you for listening, especially. Thank you for sharing your time with me, since time really is valuable. And I will try to bring in my own quote. Keep cool and stay strong. Thank you.